Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome to Let's Talk TriState, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the TriState Awards. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Ellen Curry. She is the manager of family birthing services at Meritus Medical Center. Ellen, thank you for joining us on Let's Talk TriState.
My pleasure to be here.
Ellen and I have had a little conversation here off air, and she just has, I told her she has most wonderful disposition about her. You are certainly in the right business, and then in the more specified practice, the specialty, I guess you would say, because right away you have that put at ease manner. So I can tell that with being at Family Birthing Services is right where you were meant to be. I can just tell that right now.
Thank you.
So speaking of the birthing services at Meritus Medical Center, there was a recent award that the birthing center was given. Could you please take us through that?
Sure. So the U.S. News and World Report declared that Meritus Medical Center's birthing center was a top performer and in the low-risk birthing arena. And that's a great award for us and a nice recognition for the services we provide our community.
You talked about risk. Did you say low risk?
Low risk.
Okay. Now, no, low risk, well, take us through. High risk would be pregnancies, premature birth, all those types.
Well, we do. High risk births are maybe those, not necessarily because we do premature births at Meritus.
Right.
But a high risk birth would be one where the mom has other medical issues, maybe a cardiac issue, or something where she needs to have very specialized care.
Okay.
At Meritus, we do deliver premature babies. We have a NICU that can care for babies 34 weeks and up. If a baby was to come in and be born a little before that, we have a nice relationship with Children's National Medical Center in D.C.
Okay.
And if we need to, we could go there.
I understand. So when it comes to family birthing services at Meritus, I think a lot of folks have an idea of what maternity ward, is, when we were growing up, we'd call it, but of what that would be. What is something that sets Meritus' family birthing services apart from others? I
think we are so special at Meritus. We are one of the few models of care that's called an LDRP, which is single room maternity care. So instead of going into a labor and delivery suite, delivering your baby and the mom having to be transferred over to a postpartum unit, everything is done in one room until discharge. It's a wonderful model of care. Patients love it. You get used to your nursing staff. The staff, we try to carry that throughout their stay, so you get to have a nice relationship with the staff. Yeah,
when my wife and I had our daughter coming up on 4 years ago, you're absolutely right about that. Being able to have everything. Now, she ultimately had to have a C-section, so she had to go off into the operating room. But knowing that we had the one room, it was pretty much going to be best case scenario taken care of in the one room. And then you're right about the staff. It's the most joyous time for a couple, but it can also be the most stressful time.
Yes.
And knowing that you have a staff that is behind you, that's supportive, that's reassuring and calming. All you want to do when you are, and I think this goes anytime you're at a doctor at the hospital, you want to be calmed and reassured.
Yes.
You want to know everything's going to be okay. And they do that. And do that probably far and above any other units at Meritus Health, I would think.
Well, I have to tell you, one of the biggest things about maternal care is the support. And I feel like Meritus has phenomenal staff. Our purpose is to support our mom, to respect the kind of care she wants to get. A lot of ladies come in and they have a birth plan, or they have an idea in their mind of what they want their birth process to look like, and we want to support their wishes as much as possible. We call it high-touch, high-tech care at Meritus because we want to be there for you, give you the compassion support you need, but we also are there and able to support with the highest, newest technologies that you may need in an emergency.
I think a lot of times, new moms especially, I do think, I'm 100% certain that there is a maternal instinct when you have a child. It is just, you instinctively somewhat know what to do. However, our minds will tell us that I don't know what to do.
Yes.
I'm at a loss. I don't know. I think because we place those external stresses on ourselves. I'm speaking obviously of new moms, whereas I'm overwhelmed. We're already thinking about college, right?
Yes.
When they haven't even given birth to the child yet. It's just that's the stresses of modern life.
Yes.
And at Meritus Health, I'm sure at the family birthing unit that you guys, that all of your staff there are well aware that new moms it's scary. It's scary for any mom, I think.
It is scary, and I think that the key is education, right? Us being there before you give birth. We have community outreach services. We have services in the different medical practice to provide education, just to kind of give you an idea of what you can expect. What are your options for pain relief? Let's say we have epidural pain management. We have nitrous oxide as a pain method. There's medications you can get. It's our job to inform the patients and the family to know what their options are.
I remember when my wife was being wheeled to the operating room, and they told me that there's a separate waiting area than if I wanted to come to be closer to her, which I did, of course. I was very thankful for that option, but I was given scrubs to put on. And it was very much so, not that it was an emergent situation, but it was very rushed, which is fine. And I was all for it. Whatever needs to happen, I'll grab whatever I need. I'm good to go. Here I am. But the scrubs I put on, I didn't realize how big they were. So I get up to follow everyone, and she's up ahead of me probably by about 10 feet. I'm carrying, this bag, and I have this and that, and I have scrubs on. And next thing I know, I look down, and the scrubs are around my ankles. I'm like, oh, crap. And the staff turns around and just lost their minds laughing. It had to have been quite a sight. There I am standing there back and just look down, and my pants are completely gone. I asked them later, I said, please tell me there was security cam footage of that, because I would have loved to have seen that, because it was just such a, your mind is going a million different directions. I can't imagine my wife. And what I loved about it is that the staff took the time, they turned around, it was a natural instinct to laugh, but it kind of helped my wife as well.
Yeah.
It was that relieve the pressure moment.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he's, did you see your husband? And she goes, what? He has his pants around his ankles. She says, I'm not surprised. So, but it's just moments like that where the staff is just that the compassion that they have, and that you realize this is a very human thing. Nothing is more human than giving birth, because you are giving birth to a little human.
Yeah.
And tell us about when the child comes into the world.
Yes.
When the child is born and sees daylight for the first time. What is the process like for that child now?
I think, I've been doing this 40 years, and it never ceases to amaze me, the beauty of birth, right? As the baby's born, if everything is looking good with the baby and its status, we want to do skin to skin with the mom for an hour, so that baby gets that time there. Try to initiate breastfeeding if that's the mom's choice, if she wants to breastfeed the baby. And it's usually a time of bonding. It's a time of course, assessment too. The nurse has to assess the baby to make sure that all of its, things that are supposed to be happening are happening. But it's a really special time.
It is.
Drying the baby off, warming the blankets for the baby, and putting it skin to skin with mom is just wonderful.
It has to be as well very rewarding to be part of so many moments that are the pinnacle of a person's life. There's no greater moment have I ever experienced than when my daughter was born.
It's one of those life events you never forget, right? So I think that for my staff, they're very aware of that, and they're very aware of their impact on that experience for our families. It's not just a mom, it's her partner.
Sure.
And we've got to make that life memory a good one, and it's our responsibility to do what we can and be ready if there is something that isn't what we expected, to have those skills and services for everyone. It's a wonderful gift to be able to see that every day.
I'm sure. It is. I would imagine it's just a beautiful thing. And at the same time, it's also, it can be overpowering, because it is a monumental task because the couple that is there or the mom that's there will never be more vulnerable than in that moment.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you, Tiny. I think it's a vulnerable time. It's scary, but it's euphoric on the other hand. It's so many emotions at one moment, and it's just a beautiful thing.
I remember this just, it's all, anecdotal, but just to put into context how wonderful your staff and staff at various facilities are, is my daughter on her first night became hypothermic.
Oh.
And when the doctor came in, she was breathing fine, but she noticed that she's turning blue. Well, we didn't know.
Right.
We had no idea. So they had to take her immediately into an incubator. My wife has, she's still in bed. She can't really move that much. So the nurse had said, would you like to? Yeah, absolutely. Please. I made sure my wife was okay, and they said, don't worry, we'll take care of her. And I went, and I had never felt more vulnerable because, I'm dad. I'm immediately go into fixer mode. What can I do? And I also realized very quickly that I can't do anything. I cannot. And then I thought to myself, I'm not supposed to right now. I can't do anything. This is in their hands. So they actually let me go into the room with her and held her hand, and I just did the only thing that I've known to do since I was a child, and that's to pray, and I did. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the nurse, and I said, she needs you right now. I said, but I can't tell you how much I do as well. And you could see her temperature start to tick up, and up. And they were so calm, and that was calming. I can't say that I would have been flying around like a pinball, but my mind would have been going a million different directions. And it was already, holy cow, throw this on top of it. But that's what I mean when I say we're so vulnerable when we have a child, both the fathers and the mothers.
Yes, that's why it's so important that our staff, which I think we do a very good job, are there for both, for the family, for the partner and the mom. And we have to provide that support, and I think that we do a really good job because it does matter. Yeah. Everything that we talk to you about, explaining things as they're happening, being there to answer questions for you, so important.
And I bet your staff are more remembered and recognized outside of the hospital and the medical facility than any other nurses and staff because you were part of that pivotal moment. For so many people, you probably get recognized all the time.
Well, it's so funny because I'll hear stories from my staff. They were out shopping, and somebody came up to them. You were there for my baby, or you were there for my grandbaby's birth, and it means something to the staff.
You better believe it.
It means something to the public, and it means something to the staff. It's definitely a calling and a profession to be a nurse. But I think that when you realize that your impact matters for nursing, but for families, that they remember that as a lifelong memory that was so good, and what can you say? That's just what you'd hope for.
And I want to make it very clear, I'm not disparaging any other
no.
or setting below or above. What I'm saying is that there's a big difference between someone who's having their appendix removed and someone who's giving birth to a child. As far as the memory goes, of course, you remember having your appendix out, and you probably remember wonderful care when you had it. But it is that life-altering moment. We remember where, take the negative, for instance. Everyone remembers where they were when JFK, right?
Yes,
it's just those massive moments, never a more massive moment for a couple or a mom or a dad when they first, give birth to a child. So that's why I said everything that happens around that, you remember. I remember so many details about that that I'll find myself, why do I even remember that?
Isn't it amazing how it just becomes almost, it's as you said, JFK or 9/11. All the details just stay with you.
They really do. I remember one of the nurses who grabbed my wife's hand while she was in bed because my wife was worried she was having difficulty getting Reagan to breastfeed properly.
Yes.
And she was worried. She felt inferior, not good enough, and something's wrong with me. And they took her through it, and they said, we have something that will help with that. I remember one of them went to the store, went to Walmart, because they didn't have it was something that the hospital didn't have, but yet you could get kind of what you would call it, I don't want to say aftermarket, but just one of those products, and said, I'm here, I'll be happy to grab one for you. But it just, those moments like that, that's what really sticks with you, and that's what you can expect at not Walmart trips, of course. You need to DoorDash all of the equipment. But Ellen Curry is the manager of the Family Birthing Services at Meritus Medical Center. Ellen, I feel like I could talk to you all day.
I could talk to you
about
too.
this. It's just so wonderful. I would love to have you back. What are the requirements for? This may seem obvious, but we ask questions that people, like I said, it may seem like, well, of course the answer to this is X, Y, and Z, but we want to ask them anyway. If someone wants to, having seen this, utilize Meritus' Family Birthing Center, how would they go about that? Is it just is it as simple as a phone call, or show up and, hey, I'm in labor? How's that work?
So typically our patients align themselves with a practice. So we have two practices, Capital Women's Care and Meritus Women's Health, that deliver at Meritus Health. So they'll start their prenatal care there. I know Meritus Women's Health takes pretty much any insurances. So, of course, we think about those things, or no insurance, right? You set up by a phone call. It just takes one phone call.
Okay.
And then if somebody never had that opportunity and you find yourself in labor, we will never turn anybody away. If you show up to have a baby, we'll take you and take very good care of you.
I'm sure.
And give you the same compassion we would anyone.
And that is one of the main reasons why Meritus Medical Center, the Family Birthing Services, received recognition as one of the best performing and highest performing of maternity hospitals from U.S. News and World Report. Ellen, thank you so much for joining us today
Tony.
on Let's Talk TriState. It's been a pleasure. Would love to have you back, okay?
Nice to talk to you.
All right, more Let's Talk TriState coming your way in just a few moments, all powered by Meritus Men's Health in Hagerstown. Telehealth available. Find them online at meritusmenshealth.com.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.
I'm Nick Seco from Home Right Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows. We do steel and fiberglass entry doors. We do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. From the Community Free Clinic, with us again, we have Jeremy Kantner. And Jeremy, first of all, thanks for coming in again and talking with us a little bit. But first, if anyone is tuning in for the first time, let's go over first, what is the Community Free Clinic for someone who's not familiar?
Sure. The Community Free Clinic is an organization that provides medical and behavioral health care to the uninsured population inside of Washington County.
Okay. And how does somebody, how can they determine if they're eligible for those types of services?
So essentially, the only thing that you need is to not have insurance and to live inside Washington County. And those are the only two criteria currently to become a patient of the clinic.
And then if somebody came in and you were able to help them, then you would essentially assess them and what they would need, what that individual would need, and then kind of develop a plan from there, or how does it work?
Absolutely. So they'll come in, get all their first appointments, baseline numbers. The medical team would then make the determinations if they need specialty treatment, such as behavioral health, cardiology, rheumatology, anything like that. And then we'd make either the appropriate referrals or set them up with our other our local physicians that come in and provide some of those services.
Okay. And how are you guys funded?
We are funded through grants, and fundraising is about 90% of where our funds come from.
Well, that's going to lead us perfectly into what we really want to focus on today, and that's the Masquerade Gala that's coming up on February 8th. Walk us through what exactly that's a big event. This is going to be a big night.
Right.
What can people expect?
Well, we're really excited about the event. First off, we get to celebrate our 35th year of operations in Washington County. And then we really tried to create a fun, energetic night for people to kind of come in, get to spend time with staff members, our board of directors, some of our patients, past volunteers, past people, and all to raise money for, really needed service in our community. So we're really looking forward to it. We've got what I've been told is a step and repeat, which I think is a kind of like the red carpet at the Emmys or the Oscars. We get all these big pictures, but they'll be coming in. We'll have a jazz ensemble on the first floor. We have an artist on the second floor that's going to be creating art during the event, so
cool.
People can come and watch. We have casino floor on the third floor. On the top floor, we have the Lana Spence Band. She'll be there performing raffles, silent auctions. We have a really good spin on a 50-50. It's really going to be a fun night with a lot of energy, and we hope that we can raise some more money for the Community Free Clinic.
And let's go through, I know you've touched upon some of these, but the who, what, where, when, how, why, how, all of that. So February 8th, and where's the location?
It's at the Maryland Theater. So we have all 4 floors of the theater will be ours for the night. And we're doing something different on every floor.
Really, really cool. What's the price to attend?
It's $135 a ticket. There'll be heavy hors d'oeuvres and desserts to go along with the entertainment going on throughout the building with the raffles and everything, as I said. Do
you get any kind of like raffle ticket with your ticket, or is that additional purchase when you're there?
All additional purchase once you're there.
Is there any alcohol, adult beverages that are offered?
Yep, there is a complimentary champagne drink when you get there, and then there's a cash bar on every floor.
Now, when I think of gala, I think fancy. Is this a fancy event where you could really like bust out a ball gown and get really dressed up?
Absolutely. And my guess is we'll have a variation of people dressed up, but we want people to be able to dress up in their gowns or their fancy dresses and suits or tuxedos and really kind of come in and enjoy a night. The masquerade masks will just add another little piece of spice to it.
Where does somebody get a masquerade mask if they don't have one?
That was a great question. Yeah. I had to ask myself the same thing. But every place sells them. Strangely enough, Amazon, Walmart, you can pretty much hop on and get a mask anywhere. And we'll also have some masks available in case people didn't, that they'll be able to take there and be able to fit right in with the theme.
Tell us about what you're wearing.
I am wearing a tuxedo.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a dress-up guy or a big talker. However, in this event, I felt like I needed to set the tone.
Kind of go out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, yes. So fortunately, my wife went, she got her dress, and that got me thinking. So I'll be in a tuxedo that night, and hopefully looking forward to a great night.
I think this sounds great. There's not a lot of opportunities, I feel like, where you can really bring out when I think of gala, I think of like my bridesmaids dresses. Now listen, I've been a bridesmaid 10 times, so I have quite the collection of these very fancy dresses that I never can wear again. So that's what I think of, getting out something really fancy, putting on the high heels and getting your hair and makeup done and having a great night, and all of it going to such a wonderful cause. Do you have a goal that you guys have set that you're hoping to raise with this event?
Well, we're hoping that, we could be somewhere between $75,000 and $100,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
Again, that's me. I'm always trying to do
optimist.
more. Yeah.
Yep.
Will we get to that number? I'm really hopeful. We have some great sponsors who have come through and really helped push those numbers. And now we're just down to ticket sales and how people like what we do.
How are the ticket sales going?
Oh, they're moving along pretty well.
Sure.
There are a lot of tickets out, and I think this morning we have like 400 letters going out. We just sent some emails out to people reminding them to get their tickets last week. So really looking forward to hopefully a big night.
Yeah. Where can someone get their tickets if they wanted to attend?
Sure. So they could go to our website, mycommunityfreeclinic.org. Under events, there's a tab that'll take you right into the gala. You can call the Community Free Clinic at 301-733-9234 and talk to the receptionist. She can have you pay by phone with credit card. We can have your ticket held at will call, or we can mail it to you.
Okay.
Or you can just stop at the Community Free Clinic between 8 and 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and the ladies at the front desk will take care of you and walk out with your ticket.
Now, before we wrap up here, Jeremy, I want to make sure that we go through again all the different floors, because I want to really make sure we hone in on that so everybody knows how much there is being offered at this event. Maryland Theater, February 8th. The time, again, was
5:30 to 9.
5:30 to 9. And one more time, walk me through the floors.
Sure. So the first floor will have that step and repeat kind of red carpet feel for pictures. We'll have a professional photographer there. I'm taking pictures. We'll also have a jazz ensemble from the Barbara Ingram School for the Arts there nice. On the first floor. There's a full-service bar. We'll have complimentary champagne for you in the first floor. The second floor has a artist that will be there doing something in charcoal or paint.
Can you buy that art?
That I can't tell you. I know the answer to.
That would be cool.
Really cool if. Yeah.
I went to.
You just gave me a great idea that I can push when I get back to the office.
And you could put that in the raffle too. That could be something that I went to a wedding one time where they had an artist at the wedding that was doing a painting as the whole wedding was going on. And it's one of the most beautiful paintings I've ever seen. And I thought I would love to buy it, but it's not my wedding and that would be awkward. But those things are really cool. So that could be something that maybe we can work on.
Absolutely.
For the event.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And so we have the artist on the second floor.
Right, and there's still a full bar there. Up on the third floor, we have the casino floor. So we'll have some slot machines, some table games. We'll also have our raffle items on that floor. There's a bar there.
Lots of bars.
Lots of bars. And then on the fourth floor, we'll have the Lana Spence Band. We'll have the silent auction items there. And then again, you'll have food and desserts throughout the venue.
Awesome. And it's all going to benefit the Community Free Clinic. It's a great event. And then we'll have you back because I know you guys have your mud volleyball. That's your largest fundraiser coming up soon.
Yeah.
So we'll have you come back and we can touch upon that a little bit more.
Absolutely. And it's going to be great. That's our 25th. So this is another anniversary event for us and one that we're really proud of. And we really are happy with the turnout and all the community support at the mud volleyball tournament.
2025 is a big year for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. Well, Jeremy, thanks for coming in and sharing that information, and we'll see you on the 8th, and good luck with the event.
All right, thanks so much.
Of course. We'll be right back with Let's Talk TriState.
Let's Talk TriState.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TriState, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.